Howdy everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Grocery Store Growing, right here on The More You Grow. In a previous video, I've shown you how to start your own ginger plants from pieces of grocery store ginger, and in a separate video, I've shown you how to care for the plants, some tips and tricks on feeding your plants for bigger ginger, and things like that. But in this video, we're going to harvest all the ginger we cared for the past couple months, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to store your ginger and a few things you can do with it once you harvest it. So let's go check it out. Okay, so you've seen how we started ginger and how we've taken care of it along the way. And now comes the fun part. It's time to harvest ginger. We have all these tubs behind me with Colette, Kelly, and Hope. These are Howdy Farm interns, and they're gonna help me out with this. So the first thing you wanna know when it's time to harvest is you don't just wanna harvest when the tops are still on. You wanna take those tops off and let the buckets dry down, or your containers, whatever you're using. You wanna let the soil dry down quite a bit, so that way the ginger develops a nice skin on it and it will store for a lot longer. So after you've let this dry down for about, I'd say 2 weeks or so, you can go ahead and harvest. And the first thing you'll want to know once you start harvesting, I'll talk a little bit as we do it, you don't just want to rip into this thing. We're going to treat it like dinosaur bones, but I'll show you that as we go along. All right, so here we go. It's time for the moment of truth to see what all of our hard work's got. We're just going to dump the bucket here. And kind of like a sandcastle, we were talking about that just a minute ago. And when you come around in here, don't go ripping away in there. Kind of do like you're excavating dinosaur bones. Slowly remove the soil away until you find the roots and where they kind of are. You can kind of gauge that based on like where the tops of the plants are maybe, but all we're really going to do is just kind of go down in here and figure out where the plants are until we can get one whole piece. Let's see. You can kind of see this piece over here at the side is growing along the side of the container. So once you find a piece, you can just kind of work your way from there and slowly remove that soil. And you're kind of seeing here now, once we get this removed even more, you'll see what I was talking about when I said that the ginger does pretty well with confinement. It kind of makes them compete with each other to where they'll gather more than if they would if they could just spread out. There'll be more compact, thick roots rather than really long roots. So we got one little piece here. It just kind of grew on its own. So we got our bigger pieces right here. These are going to be nice. But these are looking nice. Nice green ginger. This is what we'd call green ginger because it really didn't develop the skin like we thought it would. But it makes excellent tender ginger to use. Okay, so we got one plant separated there, and we can kind of get this removed a little bit. We'll wash it up a little bit. This is another piece that just kind of came off, but this is the piece we actually started from. This kind of darker piece, that's the one we actually started from, and you'd call that the mother because it was born from all this other ginger in here came from this one piece. So they call it a mother plant or a mother piece. So this is all of its children. So look at that, you guys. That is beautiful. Beautiful ginger. And this was all in just one container, and we've got 4 more to go. Okay, so once we get all this harvested, we will show you the final results and how much we got for 5 containers of ginger. I think this is gonna be good. I'll be with y'all in just a second. So check this out, you guys. I just wanted to show you a close-up of what we got going on here. This whole giant piece of ginger came from this middle piece, this right here. This piece right here. I'll kind of get closer. That darker piece, that's the mother piece I was mentioning earlier. So you can take grocery store ginger from your average grocery store, as long as it hasn't been frozen or anything, and you can get all this. Let me show you our entire harvest and how much we got. So here's the final harvest, you guys. Look at all this ginger. This is amazing to me. We started with probably a pound or less of ginger that we got from the grocery store, and after a few months of growing, we've got probably about 15 pounds going on right now. So now that we've got it all harvested, let me tell you a little bit about what you need to do once you get it harvested and things like that. So let's go check this out. So once you've harvested your ginger, there's honestly really no perfect way to store ginger indefinitely because of how green and tender it is. It doesn't store as well as like some of your grocery store ginger will, but it's even more delicious to me because it is green and tender. So there's a few ways you can do it. I've wrapped it up in foil and put it in the freezer before. That's something you can try. You can try to make your own pickled ginger like you see in restaurants and in recipes and Asian cooking. That's an option. That's something fun that'd be good to try. And what I'm probably going to do is I'll leave a link down in the description on a few ways you can store your fresh ginger. But I would have to say this was a success, you guys. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you have any more questions for me on how to harvest ginger, how to grow ginger, anything like that, leave it down in the comments and I'll get to you on that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do that so that way you can be there for when all the new episodes of Grocery Store Growing come out, along with any other videos I put up. And until next time, I hope you'll join me right here on The More You Grow. Check it out, you guys. Wonderful ginger.